Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time now. They say, for a wise man, every day is a festival. But Invincible Festival is like no other. A festival of music, art, literature, finance, and crypto, where authors, social media celebrities, political leaders, and cultural artists who are on top of the game will share wisdom on the need of the hour topics. We are in association with DLF Cyber Hub, presented by Ricky App. Our radio partner is Red FM India, and we are powered by Invincible Publishers and Marketeers. To begin with, we'll start with where to begin. Our first session is going to be, how do you begin entrepreneurship? At the beginning of the idea of entrepreneurship. And to lead this session, we have Vivek Atray, who's the moderator. He is a motivational speaker and an ex-IAS officer. He is an 8-time TEDx speaker. He speaks on emotional intelligence, public speaking skills, and is a CEO mentor. He is also the best-selling author of the book, Finding Success Within. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's put a round of applause, please. Thank you. Joining him in the panel is Mr. Deep Malhotra, who is also the author of the book, Brick, Cement, and .com. He has 13 years of experience of entrepreneurship and startups in building companies like Google, MySpace.com, and Dream.com. Please put your hands together for Deep Malhotra. We also have Mr. V.S. Dhingra, who is a mentor and entrepreneur, and also the author of the book, Reverse Parts of Business Success. He is also an innovator and has a patent for the world's safest vegetable and fruit solution, Veg Fruit Wash. Please put your hands together for V.S. Dhingra. Joining him is Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, who quit his high-paying job as AVP in life insurance MNC to start an e-commerce portal 13 years back. He has an organization that helps you reach out to success. Disha for Success. Please put your hands together for Mr. Sanjay Agarwal. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Priyal, and thank you very much, Ajay of Invincible, for inviting me, and the speakers, I'm sure, are just as happy as I am to be here. It's a very enlightened panel, and I don't want to give too many preliminaries, but just a few thoughts before we get down to the subject. It's something that probably everyone needs to discuss and learn from each other. We have been talking offline, the four of us and some friends, for a while now. And we've already learned a few things from each other in that process. Because life is about continuous learning. Nobody can know it all. And if someone thinks he's Mr. Know-It-All, then life has a way of teaching him that it's not so easy and you still have a long way to go. And if you notice that I'm using the term him and not her, because probably the ladies know a little better than the men. But the thing is that all of us, or all of the people here, are entrepreneurs, have done something innovative. And if you look at it, I don't know about JS because he's an entrepreneur from the beginning, but the other three, we quit something or the other. And we came into entrepreneurship a little later. I was with the government, Deep was with the corporate world, and so was Sanjay. And JS tells me that his dad threw him out of his room, sorry to use that term, when he was a teenager, and said, "Go, you get lost and go and do this," or something like that, which he says was his biggest learning. Although you should have said this, but I've already told that.
You made the best.
Yeah, I made the best. So I want to say only one thing before I toss the first question to them. I think being an innovative thinker is only part of the victory. Thinking innovative ideas is only part of it. Implementation is the key. Action is the key. Result-oriented action is the key. Ground level realities, they come and hit you. You can be a dreamer, you can be dreaming and scheming and plotting and planning, but one day reality will check and reality will face you. So being a dreamer as well as being someone who is working in a sustained manner, who is energetic enough, resilient enough, who is dedicated, devoted, disciplined enough to see through those ideas is what the key is. And I think all the gentlemen on this panel have that. So let's have another round of applause for this panel to start with, so that we can get into the thick of things. So I'm going to start with Deep, and Deep is probably come from the farthest away out of the three of us. So just for information, JS has come from about 2 kilometers away. Sanjay has come from 256 kilometers away. And Deep has come from 1000 kitna hai whatever it is. So Deep, you first. So what has your journey been like till now, and what are you looking forward to?
So hi guys, thanks for that lovely introduction. My journey has been quite a roller coaster actually. I started with entrepreneurship when I did my first .com when I was 20 years old. And after that I realized that I need to learn about business, so I got into MBA and then joined Google as a first guy on board in the corporate life. So from there to myspace.com, and then after maybe 10-12 years of corporate experience, I ended up getting into entrepreneurship. And that was a roller coaster because of the fact that my father fell ill. He got a stroke and we had a business of real estate. And things were haywire. When you're doing a job, you think that everything is taken care of. You don't bother about a lot of things. And when you're doing a business with the job, and when you have a family business, you think business is great. You have a lot of money. And in 2011, when he got a stroke, I realized that we were in a very bad shape. So I thought I'll take a sabbatical for 6 months and join in the real estate business. And I will try to just come back into something what I love to do. It's been now 11, 12 years. I'm still in the business that I'm doing. But what I have done is basically I've changed the real estate business into co-working spaces. I've started investing in startups, which I love to do. I started doing incubation for startups. So that's the combination that I could combine with my corporate life and the real estate business that I have. So the journey from being an entrepreneur to start off with, then as a corporate, and now again as an entrepreneur, I think so it's never going to change. That's the reason I could write a book, because if I would have been just doing corporate, I think it would be a very boring book. Yeah. And if you are just maybe combination of the things that you can do in the business with the corporate thing is the stark difference that everyone should get into. So I feel the roller coaster ride has made it very interesting, and I am up for another roller coaster ride in the next 5 to 6 years. Maybe I want to get into movie making. So that is maybe at the end of this 5-6 years I will be doing that. So I love to keep changing and challenging myself. Yeah.
Very well said. And in fact, this session is about beginnings, and Deep's beginning is absolutely fabulous. I really enjoyed what you said about roller coaster rides. And if you're getting into filmmaking, then JS is a candidate for your film. And he's our next speaker. So JS, Jatinder, I think it's fantastic that you are such an innovator, such a path breaker, so deep thinking in your own approach. I saw one of your products is Deep Sleep. So just thinking about sleep and how do people wake up fresh, etc. And then fresh food, veg food. So how did you become such an innovator, and how is it that you translate those ideas into reality? And how did it all start?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, my definition of entrepreneurship is living life on your own terms. Life gives you one chance. It's up to you. You want to drag it. You want to live the way society wants you to live. You want to live, people tell you how to live, or you live on your own terms. There are multiple ways to make money. You can do multiple, you can just work on commissions, you can just work for somebody. But I've listened to many speakers, I've read many books on that. People every time say that working for others and working on when you are told this to do is never satisfying. So entrepreneurship is, maybe people think entrepreneurship is about making a lot of money. I would say that entrepreneurship is enjoying the process of making money. Not just making a lot of money, but living life on your own terms is a big reward enough. You may not have the best bank balance, but you will die satisfied. This is my take on entrepreneurship. So, my journey started with, like Vivek ji said, when I shared a little about me on this. When I was in college, my father was a businessman of advertising, and we had everything sorted. And I, like Deep shared, that when you're in business, you think everything is going good. And when you just graduate from college and join the business, and it'll be all sorted. But I found it really, it was strange for me when my father threw me out of the office and said, "Oh, go get some business." I was like, "Oh, I'm supposed to do that." I thought it's all sorted. So I was there out of the office, couldn't go home because my mom will tell what time I came back home. So I had to do something. That's the day when I became a salesman. I had nothing in hand because the product was advertising, and I just had to get some business. That day changed my life because I could sell anything from that day on to anybody. So after having my stint on advertising and calling everybody sir was killing me by the day. So I said, no, I'm going to innovate something. Though I was a simple graduate. So I learned that, I'll share one more thing in between. Everybody has heard of the word called knowledge. Yeah? If you decipher the